Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. We're going to get into some hot topics, trending topics, what's going on around the world, what's being talked about, and we're going to kind of go from there. So come on in, like the video. Give me a few seconds to set myself up on this side, do my disclaimers and everything. You know how I am. Protect the page, protect the page. All comments are alleged, period. Please hit the like button. Hold on one second. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I am definitely coming in a little bit later, but that's okay. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here and thanks for supporting the channel. Let's see. Like the video as you guys come in. I'm not seeing it there. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Come on in. Like the video as you guys in. Thanks for subscribing. Just got to check something real quick. Technology. See, it didn't take it. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by like the video as you guys come in. We'll get started in a minute. I had to redo that. Okay, there it is. It wouldn't take it the first time, probably because it was too long. But okay, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Mid-afternoon live. Yes, busy day, busy day. But we're here. We are here. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for supporting. We're going to get straight into the clip. And I appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit the like as you guys come in, and thank you. I'm going to get straight into the clip.
Yumi Shelsinder joins me now, along with NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung. Glad to have both of you here. Yumi, let me begin with you. Lisa Cook says she has no intention of leaving the Fed. What comes next in what looks like a standoff?
What comes next, Kelly, is a legal battle. Lisa Cook has made it very clear that she's not walking away, and her attorney says that she believes, and he believes, that the president doesn't have the authority to fire her. Jerome Powell has also echoed this, saying that the president doesn't have the authority to fire him. The Supreme Court called the Fed, the Federal Reserve Board, a quasi-private entity. So there were a lot of legal experts who took that decision and that ruling coming from the Supreme Court and made it to believe that the president doesn't have the authority to fire the chairman or to fire governors who serve on the board. That being said, of course, President Trump is leaning into this, saying that he thinks he does have the authority to do this because of cause. Remind folks that Lisa Cook, who is the first black woman to serve on the board, that she has not been charged with any crime, but that there are allegations of mortgage fraud that the Department of Justice says it's looking into. Kelly?
And do we get a sense that the White House is looking for a court fight here in order for the president to be able to assert this authority?
It's a good question. I mean, we know that the president is definitely looking for a cause to try to remove her, because this is, of course, part of, as you just laid out, a long battle between the president and the country's central bank that, of course, sets monetary policy, including interest rates, that the president wants to be cut. So the president really wants her to be removed, but the White House isn't shying away from this fight. And in the middle of this fight, you might even see Republicans try to confirm someone to replace her. It'll be very interesting to see whether or not she can sit on the board, whether or not she can even be allowed in the building as this legal fight goes on, Kelly.
Well, you and I were among those watching what was a very long cabinet meeting today that the president, it went hours, and he also made some news on a very different topic, saying that he intends to take very severe action against any convicted murderers in Washington, D.C. Fill us in on that.
That's right. Our White House producers are saying that this was the longest presidential event that President Trump has ever held. So this isn't about campaign rallies, but for more than 3 hours, the president had this cabinet meeting, and he touched on a lot of topics. One of them is really the president trying to tighten his grip even more on the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. He's suggesting now that he's going to institute capital punishment in Washington, D.C. Take a listen to what the president said.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol.
Capital
punishment. Capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. We have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty.
So, of course, this is a big policy change that the president is hoping to institute, Kelly.
Yamiche, thank you for that. Let me turn now to Brian. The Fed put out a very long and carefully worded statement. We read a part of it at the top of the program, and it's about the president's attempt to fire Cook. Is this the Fed's way of saying that they answer to Congress and not the president? What was your take?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Fed normally is used to crafting its words very carefully when they're in their interest rate decisions, but this is the very uncomfortable position that the central bank finds itself in wanting to be very deliberate about the way that it's going to approach this incoming legal fight as well. Another part of that same statement that they released just today, just this afternoon, is that, quote, Lisa Cook has indicated through her personal attorney that she will promptly challenge this action in court and seek a judicial decision that would confirm her ability to continue to fulfill her responsibilities as a Senate-confirmed member of the Board of Governors, and then saying, as always, the Federal Reserve will abide by any court decision. So Congress or the president, what the Federal Reserve is saying in that statement is that it's really up to the courts. If there's an injunction, for example, where they decide they will allow Lisa Cook to continue to serve in this function while a higher court reviews the merits of this case, that would be something that the Federal Reserve would abide by as laid out in this statement. But again, this is now a legal battle, and the politics, certainly can't be ignored, but this is in the hands of the court with this legal filing earlier on today.
Good afternoon.
The broader context is we know the president has been in a long-standing feud with the Fed over interest rate policy. And what impact could this have if Cook is removed in how the president might be able to influence their policy-making abilities?
Like the video. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Yamiche was saying just now that the White House has been very clear on their intentions. They're not backing down from a fight. They're the ones that essentially instigated this fight. But the president, interestingly, for a moment in that long cabinet meeting today, said, quote, we will have a majority shortly on the Fed, referring to the number of governors, including the chair, that would have been appointed by him either in this term or in a previous term over the previous Biden-era appointees. There are 7 seats. If he's able to flip the Cook seat, in addition to get his other nominee, Stephen Meehan, on the board, that would constitute a majority. when the president says something like that, that's essentially saying the quiet part out loud, which is that this fight against Lisa Cook is really for the greater purpose, in his view, of getting interest rates lower, which he has been very vocal about. He's been saying Jerome Powell is too slow on lowering interest rates, and he not only wants an interest rate cut in the next meeting, which is just a few weeks from now, he wants the Fed to more aggressively lower interest rates by something closer to 3 full percentage points, which no economist I've talked to said would be appropriate in this type of economy. But if the president gets his way with the personnel on the board, there's marginal movement towards him getting what he wants.
And talking about having a majority of his appointees was certainly a big tell, as you point out. What are the potential market consequences of the Fed losing what is actual independence or perceived independence?
Yeah, well, the markets didn't move too much. This announcement from the president of firing Lisa Cook happened overnight. Markets ended the day marginally positive, nothing too much to read from that. But it does seem like markets aren't too worried about this, I think in part because a lot of investors are saying, well, I'm a trader. I'm not necessarily someone that's an expert in injunctions or the court system when it comes to how appointees are treated and whether or not for cause is applicable in this situation for this potential firing. So we'll have to see what happens down the line. But look, economists and traders and those that are in the stock market that I've been speaking to lately have said this is only going to introduce more volatility. If you don't have faith in the Fed being independent, how do you know what's going to happen to markets? Because it could just be at the whim of what the president wants here, Kelly.
Brian, appreciate your insights there. Thank you so much. And joining me now is Greg Ip. He is the chief economics commentator for the Wall Street Journal. And Greg, you wrote in the Journal today that the Fed is in uncharted waters. We've heard that kind of phrase before in the Trump era. What is going on, and help us understand the impact here?
Well, historically, we didn't worry too much about relationships between the president and the Fed because essentially the president's influence over the Fed only extended to nominating governors and the chairman. And then once they were in place, they did as they felt best for the economy. The president couldn't tell them what to do. What he has basically signaled now is that he does not consider his influence to end when he nominates a person. He expects the people that he appoints to do as he prefers. What's interesting in the case of Cook, of course, is that she has generally voted with Chair Powell, and Powell himself had said Friday that the Fed was likely to cut interest rates in September, because even though they're still a bit worried about the effect of tariffs on inflation, they think the labor market is a bigger issue, and that would be the reason to cut rates. So in some sense, removing Cook isn't so much about getting rates down now, it's about ensuring that Trump gets people that are loyal to him on the board for the remainder of his presidential term. And I think that that probably means that interest rates will be lower and the risk that inflation will be higher as a result.
I was surprised when a waiter smelled
like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here.
Probably means that interest rates will be lower and there's a risk that inflation will be higher as a result.
And we've seen this month alone that the president fired the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, and is now attempting to fire the Reserve Governor. So these are moves that show how he is expansive in his push of authority. And some of this could potentially cause long-term damage to the U.S. economy. Is that your view, or should Americans continue to have faith that the economy can weather this?
Well, the U.S. economy is pretty phenomenally dynamic and productive, and so it can actually withstand a lot of mistakes made by various policymakers. We've seen that over time. We saw it in the global financial crisis. We saw it during COVID. But I think that there's something about things like an independent, nonpartisan Bureau of Labor Statistics, an independent, nonpartisan Federal Reserve that we've all come to take for granted. We haven't given much thought to what life would be like without them, just as we don't think much about what life would be like if the plumbing in our house didn't work. When the markets look at what the Fed does, they assume the Fed is looking at the same data as them, and it's making a call on interest rates based on its best read for what's good for unemployment and inflation. Now they have to understand that, in fact, a major consideration for the people on the Fed will be, what does Trump think? Because Trump will be ready to remove anybody that he doesn't think is in line with him. We've seen the officials that he has in mind for the Federal Reserve talking about how interest rates should be lower, in spite of the fact that inflation still runs above the Federal Reserve's 2% inflation target. And so I think going forward, those are the kinds of risks that investors and the public have to sort of deal with. One possibility, again, where inflation goes in the next 6 to 12 months is kind of already baked in stone. It would relate to the economy, a little bit to tariffs, not to what the Fed does. But over the longer term, if the Fed is not inclined or is not motivated to act forcefully when it sees a risk of inflation, then it probably means long-term interest rates and mortgage rates will be higher than they otherwise would be.
And finally, just a broader question about the reputation of the Fed. No charges have been filed here. These are just allegations. We've got to see where it plays out. But do you see this as being a risk to the credibility of not only Cook, but maybe the Fed more broadly?
So these allegations, if true, they're consequential allegations, but we don't know yet whether they're true. Cook has not had the opportunity to respond in detail to them. It's interesting that Trump, after demanded that she resign before she'd had even a chance to respond to them. And furthermore, we don't know, even if they were true, whether they rise to the standard of cause. But in some sense, as you know, Brian was mentioning earlier, when Trump said today he's got the control, he thinks he'll have a majority on the Board of Governors, he sort of, I think, indicated that what the real issue, the real motivation here was to get control of the Fed. It wasn't whether one particular individual had broken the rules or not.
Greg, thank you so much. We really appreciate your insights today.
Thank you.
And now I'm joined by Scott Alvarez, former federal counsel, former general counsel for the Federal Reserve. And I'm glad you could be with us. You have a lot of knowledge about this. And let's point out again that Lisa Cook has not been indicted or charged. This is the president using allegations made by a member of his administration as a justification for firing her, and that he goes into an explanation in the letter to her about it being for due cause, and that is the basis for his effort to terminate her. What is your sense of the seriousness of this allegation and how it came into the decision-making process?
So I agree with Greg and with Brian, both saying earlier that this is part of the president's plan to try to take control of the Federal Reserve and get the interest rate policy that he wants. So in that respect, I don't think it's really about Lisa Cook. That said, what Lisa Cook is facing is allegations that she has not had the opportunity to respond to, that she's committed fraud. And on that basis, the president is trying to say there is cause to remove her. But there's some real legal issues here. We don't know what the facts are and whether there was any fraud involved at all. All we know is her name, that she put primary residence on 2 different mortgages. A lot of people do that. A lot of people buy second homes. Circumstances change and applications tend to be static. Once they're filed, they're filed. So it depends on what she told the banks and what the banks understood the purposes of the mortgage were for. We don't know anything about any of that. So she's had no opportunity to present her side of the case. We also don't know, for cause is not really explained by the courts yet. So certainly not in the Federal Reserve context. So we don't know whether the seriousness of this charge you've proven is enough to demonstrate cause. Cause could be left to just what is malfeasance in the job or dereliction in duty in the job. These are all allegations that relate to practices before Lisa Cook was nominated for the job. So they have nothing to do with her current job. So there's a lot of uncertainty here from a legal perspective on where this would go and whether it will be effective in getting Lisa removed from the board.
So much we don't know, and yet her name is being thrust into the spotlight, and I'm sure that is, she probably looks forward to having a chance to respond to these charges. It comes from a criminal referral, as you were indicating it, dealing with 2 mortgage documents that each list a primary residence. And we don't know if they were consecutive or at the same time. So many questions. The person who brought this forward is Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and he talked about this on CNBC last week. Is it grounds for firing at the Fed?
Of course. If you commit a crime and you have a reasonable suspicion that somebody's committing a crime, that is cause. I don't know what cause is if that's not cause. This lady, I don't understand how she can be in charge of setting interest rates for our country, and here she is potentially lying on her applications to get better interest rates.
And of course, as you pointed out, the courts have to decide what is cause, so he can opine on that, but that may not be relevant in the outcome here. But is it your sense that this is something where he's correct in saying that simply the facts of her having this documentation are enough, or do you think that is still to be determined?
I don't think that's enough. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty, and there has been no proof of guilt here. If these are false charges, then that certainly is not cause, and we don't know if there's truth to these, to the charge, not so much about what's on the application, but the charge of fraud, which is what underlies the president's letter. So I think we're far from knowing whether this is going to be effective.
Scott Alvarez, thank you so very much again, pointing out that.
Like the video. There's about 161 in the building. If I can get all 161 to please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to meet a quota of hitting 50K by next month. So please hit the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Tariff on Indian goods, but earlier this month signed an executive order imposing an additional 25% tariff due to India's purchases of Russian oil, bringing the combined tariffs imposed by the U.S. to its ally up to 50%. Now, joining us now shortly is going to be an expert on this entire situation, but I do want to remind our viewers by putting up this QR code here on your screen that we want you to submit your questions on what you would like to know when it comes to U.S.-India trade relations. We'll be bringing this up periodically during the interview, so you can submit in real time. You can do so by scanning the QR code there on the top right-hand side of your screen or heading to livenowfox.com/connect. So joining us now is going to be Usha Haley. She is a Barton Distinguished lecturer and chair in international business at Wichita State University. So Usha, good to see you. And thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, I do want to set the stage for our viewers first. Talk to us a little bit about these U.S.-India trade relations before these tariffs went into effect. And we can go back a few other presidential terms if you'd like.
Okay. So for the last 2 decades, the United States has followed a policy of building up India as a strategic link to the Asia-Pacific and as a counter to China. It's become pretty obvious to the administration, to previous administrations, that the United States was no longer in a unipolar world, but that China was a very worthy competitor across the board, bringing in a new way of doing business and really a new way of life in politics and economics. So India, the largest democracy in the world, with over 1 billion people, I think it's 1.4 billion the last count, but who's counting? And then the United States, the oldest democracy in the world, had something in common. And they could stand as a bulwark against China's creep and sometimes downright assault on the other economies in Asia and in emerging markets generally. So India has had a spotty and a very turbulent past, one that was marked by colonialism. The British were there for a really long time, almost 2 centuries. And so it has had a very suspicious relationship with Western powers. So when India received independence not long ago, August 15th, 1947, it said one of the planks was that India would become self-sufficient and that India would no longer depend on masters abroad. The United States made slow overtures to India, which were somewhat stopped over the last 2 decades because of Pakistan and its relationship to Pakistan, India's traditional nemesis in South Asia, and supplied arms to Pakistan, etc. But then Pakistan has now become a failed state for all practical purposes, and India remains a democracy, though a messy one, which is in a way healthy. There are very many diverse views in it. But India started trusting in the United States, and that trust is extremely important because it's important to understand that trade relations don't just operate in a vacuum. They're part of an infrastructure, an ecosystem that includes political securities, economic securities, and even cultural exchanges, and always underlying that is trust. So India started this relationship with President Trump, and Modi came by, and they thought everything's fine. India decided the United States does have a negative trade balance with India in manufacturing, although it does not in services. And so they promised to buy energy as well as arms from the United States. And you understand that India has had a very strong relationship with Russia. It's in the 1960s, but you can go back even further historically to the Aryans, and Sanskrit is an Indo-European language, so you can see some of the cultural roots there as well. But the abrupt change almost overnight has Indians with 50% tariffs levied on India beginning today, have India asking, what does President Trump want from India? by extension, what does the United States want from India? Because India does import at this point a third of its energy and oil from Russia, but it's far from the only one. As a matter of fact, the United States imports Russia and has a trade relationship, and China is a far larger importer of Russian energy and oil. So why are there no sanctions against China, but India is seen as a whipping boy in all of this?
And I think that is the big question going
Good
forward.
afternoon. Good
What are we
afternoon.
trying to get out of these tariffs, especially because India has been considered an ally to the United States. Now, Usha, you know that we have been asking our viewers to submit some viewer questions, and they have at this moment. They are by this topic as a whole. I want to put it up here. This first one on the screen from Quinton Y, saying, how would the trade relations affect the economy for us? How also would it benefit the citizens of the United States of America? And I think that is a major question, at least for the average American consumer at this time.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure that the trade relations and the break in trade relations currently, which I sincerely hope is not permanent for the sake of the United States, is going to benefit our economy or our politics. India exports to the United States things that the United States doesn't have. For example, carpets, handmade, hand-woven carpets, gems and jewelry, things that are some spices. India has started getting a lot of investment from the United States, and India also, Apple, for example, which is currently untouched, but India also invests in the United States, about $40 billion worth of investments. What is happening is that India sees the United States as capricious. The question is, why us? It's not uniform. I mean, the United States hasn't said any country importing energy from the United States, from Russia, is going to be affected and have a 25% tariff levy. On the other hand, what it's doing is saying India is going to have it. This and at the same time, President Trump says Mr. Putin is a great guy, and they get along very well. So all of these seem to India to be a double standard, and Indians are very sensitive to these double standards. As I said, it's been a former colony. So I don't see any real benefits to everything is going to become more expensive. India is also becoming a major manufacturer of semiconductor chips. And it affects our companies investing because they had already started diverting investment from China into India, and companies plan for like at least 3 to 5 years. They're wondering how long this looks capricious. So they're wondering why. I think we need to bring out a policy, and I think ideally we should reduce tariffs on India to 15% as it is for South Korea or Japan, our other allies in Asia.
So we've touched on this next question that I'm going to bring up here on your screen, but I want to just put it up just because our viewers are trying to participate within this discussion. This is from Amber, coming in from El Paso. Explain the cause and effect on the U.S. and India. And just a reminder to our viewers, if you want to submit a question for our expert here, Usha Halu, who is a distinguished chair in international business with the Wichita State University, you can do so by scanning that QR code on the top right-hand side of your screen or heading to livenowfox.com/connect. But really going back to this question from Amber, the cause and effect on the U.S. and India, what can we glean from this right now? I mean, it's so soon. It's still the first day. But maybe in the short term and then in the long term, possibly.
Well, the extra 25% tariffs just went into effect today. So I'm not sure what the cause and effect is going to be. India is extremely guarded currently and is making no big moves. It's basically assessing the situation. What I'm afraid of as a student of geopolitics is that it has started nurturing and extending hand to China. And the United States had worked for 2 decades to build this bulwark. It has suspicions about China, mostly territorial. India has fought wars on the border, and both countries have troops on the border. India's trade relationship with China is about the same as with the United States, although India buys more from China, which would have been balanced by India's energy. India had promised to buy more energy from the United States as well as arms. Currently, it's going to probably go back to Russia. This alliance, which is India, China, and Russia, for the first time in 2 days, an Indian prime minister is going to be visiting China and extending a hand of friendship, is a dangerous one for the United States. It's extreme. It shows that we're moving into a fragmented world. Just 10 years ago, we were in a unipolar world. Now we're in a fragmented world. But it's not just India. The administration has also set its eyes on Brazil. So Brazil and India, 2 of the largest economies, 2 of the largest markets in the world, have decided that they're not going to be kowtowing immediately to President Trump, but start hedging their strategic bets, which is not that they disrespect the United States, but that they feel they can't rely on it for continuity, and so they need to build up relationships with other countries, so they're not totally dependent on the United States or indeed on any country. That is not good. We're moving into a more fragmented world. It's not good geopolitically. It's not good for risk assessment. I'm sorry, I'm going on and on with answering, but these are very good questions, and they can't have flip answers.
Well, I'm sure that viewers appreciate that, and they appreciate your expertise on this entire situation, because there's a lot to talk about with it. The headline is tariffs are imposed, but all of the implications that come with that, that's an entire days-long conversation just with that singular topic.
Yes.
Usha, I'm going to bring up one more question from our viewers. They have been participating. We thank you all at home for asking these questions, and as Usha said, they're really very good and offer up some good insight. But here, Charles V, a bit of a more technical question here. He is from Fort Worth. He says, is the tax on goods and services? If so, will this impact labor resource costs for consulting companies leveraging Indian labor in the U.S.?
Not in the top line, but probably in the bottom line. The tax is basically on goods, not on services. But as I said, India is suspicious of foreign investment. India is suspicious of foreigners. It has, as I said, it has a history that backs it up. And India's history, directly you can trace it back, 3,000 years. So it's not, yes, it does. It does affect it, not on the top line, it affects it on the bottom line. There would be other regulations in India. The Indians didn't invent bureaucracy, but they really did perfect it. And so, the American companies will start experiencing other kinds of resource costs and other constraints in India. And I would figure we need to, get it and sort of calculate those costs as well.
And Usha, I do want to leave you with the final thoughts here as someone who is really closely monitoring this whole situation and is invested in studying what could happen through all areas because of these tariffs. So what do you have your eye on going forward? Or is there anything you feel you would like to add that maybe we have missed within this conversation that we should talk about?
Even my cats, they complain when they think something is unfair. I think the first thing the Indians say is, why us? And this is so unfair. It's so blatantly unfair. The administration does have to explain what's going on, what is expected of India, why India alone is singled out when China is not on this, or other countries, or even the United States is not on this. So that has to be explained. And I do think this is far too important a relationship, not just for this administration, but for our future in the United States. Our dominance, we live now in a bipolar world. I don't really want it to move to a multipolar world where every country has some sort of claim on what's going to be happening in the future. So it is important that the administration communicate clearly what the goals are and perhaps reach an agreement.
Usha Haley of Barton, a distinguished chair in international business with Wichita State University. We do appreciate your time.
Like the video. There's about 194 in the building. If I can get all 194 to please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in.
Emily Campagno, Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, and Tyrus. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is the 5. This is the 5 in New York City, and this is the
25 cities that the crime. Just about every one of those cities is run by Democrats. And one of the bad things they did, cashless bail, if you look back on time, when they allowed a murderer out that afternoon, he'd kill somebody and then a couple of hours later he's walking the streets again, oftentimes killing again rapidly. Cashless bail is a disaster.
And it could be coming to a city near you. President Trump sees the D.C. crime crackdown as a successful model for other blue cities. He threatened Chicago that it could be next.
I have some slob like Pritzker criticizing us before we even go there. I made the statement that next should be Chicago because, as you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him. Freedom. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and a smart person. We may wait. We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do.
But Chicago's leaders are not taking Trump's law and order proposal lightly. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson both blasting the idea of the National Guard in the Windy City.
Going to remain firm. We'll take legal action, but the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny.
I am on the path on the lakefront at 6 a.m. on Monday. It doesn't feel like a hellhole here. In fact, everybody's having a great time and enjoying themselves.
So, Emily, at 6 a.m. on a Monday, on the waterfront in Chicago, it doesn't look like a hellhole.
That's right. And
what a surprise.
Exactly. That's the problem, is that when they try to gimmick in response to what is actually sincere and deep appreciation for American safety, then it's always going to fall flat. And I want to point out a little bit, because all of this cashless bail that the president is trying to end, I want to talk about that specifically because it's a precursor to a lot of things. And in Texas, just in the Houston area alone, over 200 cases of low or no cash bonds who got out, they assaulted or killed someone. In Harris County, Texas, 115 residents killed just in 1 year alone. These are all of the people that get out with that low or cashless bail. And when you talk about deep statistics, on the $0 bail, 70% are rearrested. Now, this is in Yolo County, California, which is where I'm from, so I took it as a statistic that's important in Northern California. Those kinds of suspects are nearly 3 times more likely to be rearrested for violent crimes, including domestic violence, and a third of those violent rearrests are for DV. And it goes on. So I don't quite understand why these Democratic leaders feel so strongly about sort of selling out all of their residents in order to just have the president look bad. I understand that there's federalism issues, and that's why there will be a difficult time imposing an EO on what is traditionally, obviously, state and local realms crime. But at the end of the day, it's up to these guys in the state and local level to vote this cashless bail out, to make it known that everyone supports these kind of policies that the president is putting down, because it's the state and local residents that are paying the price for the Dems not seeing this.
And Tyrus, getting the Democrats to defend basically lawlessness in Chicago by saying they're going to take legal action to stop it is a little bit of dissonance.
I keep trying to find the opposition argument to this because, Jesse, I think you coined the phrase 80-20.
Oh, yeah, that'd be Jesse.
Jesse coined the phrase. You should probably trademark that. This is a 99.5 to 0.5. How can you, with a straight face, say, no, we don't want low crime? We don't want American soldiers coming in and helping our depleted police force. Whether you like it or not, good, bad, or different, you had 10 million undocumented people come to this country and spread variously all through the country. Everyone who traveled saw the midnight. We can't get red-eye flights, but they were getting red-eye flights to all over the country. And now we had defund the police. We had don't respect the police. We had massive police retirements, police officers. They go out, they arrest the guy. An hour later, they got to rearrest him. So the police department is depleted. And here's the next bet. If I was in the White House, this is one of the first things I would do. Clean up your streets. Instead of sending our military men and women out to other places to make other countries safe, make our streets safe. How is this an argument? If you don't like it, what's not to like? Other than that, you have to tip your hat to the orange devil. That's the problem. Then you know what? Find a way, like steal it and make it your own. Like, no, you will not bring in 1,500 National Guards. We will only allow 1,200. And then call it a victory.
Right.
Clean your neighborhoods. Leave the politics up. To go out on the waterfront at 6 o'clock in the morning, but notice he wasn't filming himself. I wonder who was with him. Perhaps his detail?
Right.
This is laughable. Clean up your cities. I don't understand it.
Jesse, the fight against crime has been one of the best. Let's see what Trump can do to put out some bait and see how many Democrats will take it.
How did the Mike Morse law firm get to be the biggest?
Like the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We got 204 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month.
Yeah, they're falling into a trap. And so Axios, disparagingly, Dana, said that Trump is molding D.C. into his own personal Epcot Center, a political theme park where troops keep the peace and the White House glitters like Mar-a-Lago. What's wrong with Epcot Center? I love Epcot Center. I got food poisoning eating there, but it was safe and secure and beautiful. And if the president wants to make these cities look like Epcot, I'm for it. The guys now in D.C. are carrying, I think, 9mm and M4 rifles, and they're letting the police go into the bad neighborhoods and get the bad guys. That's not controversial. That's like what happens when you usually have a strike force come in and take scalps. The New York Post had some crazy examples of some of these people that got off on bail. They had 2 convicted killers arrested in Greenwich Village, down where my friend Harold Ford Jr. lives. They were trafficking drugs in the park and they let them out for free. Or they have a pickpocket guy. He's been busted 45 times.
Oh my
45 times. And he just gets let out every time. They arrested a Tren de Aragua gang member. Dana, am I saying that correctly?
Yes,
Tren
that's
de Aragua.
very good.
Wanted for homicide. They arrested him, no bail. So that's just crazy, and everybody agrees. They're saying this is not a top issue. Crime was a top issue in November. Crime was a bigger issue than foreign affairs and the deficit. So if Trump is manufacturing a crisis, homicide is not a crisis. This culture war the Dems tried to wage with like trans and race doesn't stand a chance when it comes to crime and immigration. And it's not only good for policy, because obviously saving lives is important, it's great politics. You're going to send ICE guys to cities, and you're going to send National Guard to cities, and you're going to go city by city, week by week, and you're going to force the Democrats to defend crime and illegal aliens over and over and over again. Now, a majority of the crime is black on black, and I don't hear any black leaders, besides Harold Ford, Tyrus, and myself, talking about the need to reduce crime in these neighborhoods. Where is Barack Obama? Homicides exploded under Joe Biden in his home city of Chicago, not Honolulu, Chicago. And he didn't say a word. It went from 600, 700, 800. Barack said nothing. What about Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton was sitting cross-legged at Martha's Vineyard next to Joy Reid the other day. He never talks about black on black crime. Donald Trump should win an NAACP Image Award if he can clean up. Don't laugh. If he could clean up these black communities, because it is a real problem. He can put it next to the Nobel Peace Prize.
Harold, is anyone wrong? Do you see it a little bit differently?
I don't. It's going to be back around the table. I agree 100%. I'd be a supporter of President Trump getting that award. Let's step back. We deserve a lot of credit around this table for encouraging the president to do this. I think the U.S. attorney there obviously is a big instigator of these things. Ms. Pirro, our friend. But we've been saying it for a while. The president should sign an executive order ending cashless bail. They obviously have, as Emily rightly pointed out, the federal government has a different relationship with Washington, D.C. and can do these things. Two, what I don't understand, both sides seem to revel in trying to blame the other. Democrats, Republicans, everybody probably deserves a little blame, or maybe one party deserves more than the other. But if I were the president, you can do this in Washington, and you should absolutely do it. In fact, I hope you send the National Guard to neighborhoods where the black-on-black crime rate is higher than it should be, where it's tragically high. Send it to every neighborhood, not just in neighborhoods where a couple of middle-class people hang out and have dinner and socialize and go to clubs. Send it to all the neighborhoods. I'm a big believer that any politician, black or white, that resists that, to your point, Tyrus, is foolish. Is playing a dangerous and ugly kind of politics. For those Democratic governors who say, well, we can't go to the White House because he's not going to be on the level with us. Remember this, President Trump, less than 3 weeks ago, called for the firing of the head of Intel. He said that he was might have been too close to China. Today it was announced at the president, with that same CEO still the head of Intel, that we, the American people, are going to invest about $12 billion and take a stake in the company. President Trump can be persuaded. He welcomed Vladimir Putin to Alaska to try to deal with Ukraine. Let's go to the White House and figure out what is it that you need as governors of all these things. I think Governor Moore, who I think is doing a great job in Maryland, invited the president to come to Baltimore and walk the streets with him. I hope they're able to do this because, Tyrus, to your point, these are real problems that real people in real neighborhoods are facing. Can you imagine if they went in and figured out how to break these gangs up, how to break the mafia up in these cities, and they were working with local law enforcement and working with the governors? And if the governors, to the president's credit, if they choose not to be helpful, I'm one that says send them anyway. Because if you live in a neighborhood where crime is rampant, where violence is rampant, where you fear for your life, you don't really care what the Democratic governor or the Republican governor or the Democratic mayor or the socialist mayor, what they may be saying. You want your neighborhoods to be protected. So I say more power to you. I just hope they're able to collaborate and work together.
Take you back real quick. They do realize that if you clean up the crime in these cities, you bring businesses back. Yeah. You bring mom and pops back. You get actual grocery stores where the kids are no longer in grocery deserts. You fix the community by protecting it. It's
the guy that sits in your chair most nights, Greg Guffel, deserves a lot of credit because he's been asking for the president to sign an executive order to do this. This is a good start, Mr. President. Hope you keep going.
All right, up next, the Democrats head to summer camp, and Tim Walz got really mad.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox.
Like the video, like the video. There's about 111 in the building. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please hit the subscribe button and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video. Let's get the likes up, you guys. Can I get 50 people to please double tap that screen to hit the like or hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video? Please hit the like button and thank you. Let's get the likes up. 50 people to please hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video.
Makes us laugh when he meets with his staff. The president held his 7th cabinet meeting earlier, 7 in just 7 months, compared with Biden's 9 during his entire term. Trump talked about a lot. Energy to crime to transgender for everybody.
Transgender for everybody.
Like the video, like the video. Hold on one second.
Transgender for everybody. They fought for it. They're still fighting for it. I saw a guy today, a politician that you all know very well, fighting like hell for men playing in women's sports. You don't understand. They're human beings also. Well, I agree they're human beings. But you can't have a 7-foot guy playing basketball with the women. You know, just one of those little problems in life. And we all have our place. It's okay. I've got my place too.
Then he saw this. Yeah, go ahead. Give it up to the president. Then he saw this poor, stupid Chuck Schumer.
And then I saw this poor, stupid Chuck Schumer. He looks like he's aged 100 years. And I don't like getting into looks. You know, looks don't mean anything, right? When you're in politics, looks don't matter. I look at Pam, I would never say she's beautiful because that'd be the end of my political career.
And it wouldn't be a Trump event without bashing the lamestream media.
I'll tell you, they showed one scene where a bunch of Tren de Aragua guys or whatever, maybe MS-13, maybe MSDNC, okay? Because to me, they're worse. I think they're worse. MSNBC maybe is worse than Tren de Aragua. Real scum. Real scum. Real dishonest people.
Really? Wow, they're not showing that clip on MSNBC. Baker, so much entertaining from the cabinet meetings, and he's got all his cabinet there. It's fantastic. But there's also he touted a lot of his progress. He said there are 64,000 federal bureaucrats. Is this what you voted for?
Yeah, damn right. Yeah, you can always shrink the federal government, as far as I'm concerned, right? Yeah. As long as you're thoughtful about it, right? You don't just go in there and take an axe to it. But look, the other day, President Trump had a summit meeting with the South Korean president, and South Korea is a very sort of buttoned up, formal culture. They do things in a certain process. I had indescribable fun watching that press conference with President Trump sitting next to President Lee of South Korea, and President Trump just riffing on all sorts. He was going everywhere, and the president of South Korea was trying to keep the best face on possible, right? Because it's an important alliance. But look, I think people on the elite side, on the Democrat side, they can't stand him, because he talks like one of us, right? The Democrats are busy saying, look, let's try to find words that we can say that will make us sound relatable. Trump is, whether you like him or hate him, the dude is relatable. He sounds like, every neighbor I've ever lived next to, frankly. So I think that part of it is fantastic. I will say one other thing, which is, as far as the transgender sports goes, yeah, I think we could solve this whole issue if we could just get one really solid NBA quality player, right, who decides that they're a dame, and do we still say that?
Yeah,
you
can do it.
And joins the WNBA. That would be it. I guarantee you, things would start to turn around if we had that happen. But until that, we're going to be arguing about this all day.
Well, I mean, the president, Tyrus, he's famous for his issues now. They're all, as he says, 80-20. It's overwhelming the support that's behind many of these basic issues. But we just saw, in the last segment, the Democrats are still harping on them. But he was in the flow. I think this is the president at his best when he holds the cabinet meetings, he has them all there, and then he just riffs.
Well, he's running the country his way, and he wasn't able to do. I think that 4-year hiatus from office was probably one of the best things that happened to the president, and in a lot of ways happened to us, because we got a really good look at what we never really. The media was always full of we just didn't know it. And it took pulling him out the situation, because he was the reason for everything that was wrong in this country his first 4 years. A lot of people bought into that. Then they got him out of the picture, and the place went to hell. And then when he came back, things got better. So he knows it, and he knows the American people know it. The only people who don't understand it is the people who live on social media and the trolls, but they don't represent America. They're 10% since we ever 80-20. Well, it's 90-10 with American citizens and the people who are on social media who push these DEI narratives and transgender. There is a place for boys who want to dress like girls to play sports. It's with the boys. You can do your hair and eyelashes on your own time. Or here's the thing, guys don't care if you're good or not. Doesn't matter. Gay, straight, whatever. All we care about is if you hit in baseball, if you can tackle in football, if you can shoot in basketball. We don't give a damn. So there's play with the boys. You don't want to, because you're not special then. You don't dominate then. You can't bully anybody then. And that's the real issue. It's not an issue. There's no conversation. It's stupid. It's like arguing about, I'm pissed off that President Trump brought the military in to keep people from getting killed in the streets of Washington, D.C. And what's your problem with it?
That was an important.
Yeah, the president's been riffing a lot lately, and I wanted to get your take on, because he talked about economics a lot. He was defending his tariffs, and recently the U.S. government took a stake in Intel. What do you think of? Because a lot of people in the business world, they seem to think that there's, that might be kind of fishy or whatever. What do you think of that?
Intel should have been sold for car parts about 3 years ago. I would never invest. See, the great thing about America for 200 years is, and this has been proven forever, the reason we're number one in technology, we let the good companies thrive and we let investors invest in them. And the ones that fail, they're like the dead fish. It goes to the bottom of the ocean, the slugs eat them, and then the protein comes back up. And so why keep a dead grandmother alive on tubes? That's Intel. Nobody wants their products. I don't want to invest in them. Why would I want my tax dollars investing in them? Take them behind the barn and shoot it.
I didn't know any of this. I didn't know. I mean, Intel, I thought they were huge. You're saying they're getting killed by what, NVIDIA and these other companies?
These guys missed it 10 years ago. They missed mobile. They missed enterprise. They missed AI. They go in there every day saying, let's roast marshmallows or something. We don't know what we're doing. I mean, it is the worst run company on earth. And why, when I read that Chips and Science Act, because I actually read it, nobody else in here did, I read it, and I saw they were going to get billions of dollars, and I said to myself, this is a horror movie. Why would you give a dog more money when it wants to die?
Now, let me get your take on this. You said they gave them the billions. That was during Biden. They were going to give them the billions. Now we're at least getting something for it. Isn't that better?
I get that argument, but why not this? How about just leave the money in the taxpayers' pockets and let Intel die? We don't need it.
They're gonna like that, right? They like that. Emily, what'd you think? Very entertaining. Once again, I like watching being in on these cabinet meetings.
Yeah, because here's what I think has been so lost in the Democrat Party is that we pay the salaries of everyone in the federal government. The income of the federal government is the taxpayer dollar. So why aren't we entitled to? Why should we not expect a status report every month? It is so foreign to the bloated, bureaucratic, sort of teat-suckling Democrats' beneficiaries to have someone actually held accountable for my tax dollars and my income for once. So it's amazing that we are seeing. It's like if it's your own house and someone comes into play and they say the lawn is mowed and the windows are washed and it's cleaner and it's brighter. There's better curb appeal. You're safer. Everything is awesome. Thank you. But the Democrats are so incensed that the Orange Man Bad is the one that has rebuilt and resecured the house and made it beautiful and made it safe again, that they have totally lost the opportunity to even ask for 1 second, how can we further our policies? How can we work in tandem to actually accomplish something so that when we are inevitably embarrassed at whatever next, the midterms and then the next election, instead they could say, yeah, we worked with this president and we advanced this legislation. Democrats, that's important to you, but they are so absolutely myopic. They've cut off their nose to spite their face, so they will never appreciate that a victory for him is actually a victory for all Americans, for them too. But yes, at the end of the day, we need to know how our tax dollars are being spent and where it's being saved, and it's phenomenal that it's an A+ from President Trump every time.
Oh, hey, Sean Hannity here.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. We have about 142 in the building. If I get all 142 to please hit the subscribe button and thank you. Please hit the subscribe button and thank you. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Where troops keep the peace and the White House glitters like Mar-a-Lago. I took my kids to Epcot. It was clean, friendly, and fun. Why would anyone be against that? With a little imagination and some pixie dust, Trump turned the Capitol into the most magical place on earth.
We actually arrested a total of well over 1,000 people. We took hundreds of guns away from young kids that were throwing them around like it was candy. As I said, we've had 0 murders in the last week. And some of these people were from foreign countries. They said, that doesn't sound so good. And I said, well, it doesn't sound good, but Washington was the most dangerous place in this country. And now, you know what? It's probably the safest place in our country.
The National Guard's carrying 9mm and M4s. And we've gone 12 days without a murder in D.C. It's the longest streak since before the pandemic. Trump's done so much, the U.S. Marshals gave him a badge.
We thought it was only appropriate to present you with an honorary United States Marshal Service badge. And this badge comes with this little item right here, the handcuff key, Mr. President.
because you continue through your policies and your efforts with your staff to unhandcuff law enforcement officers all over this nation.
America's heartthrob, Stephen Miller, says Trump's making America date again. Last week was Restaurant Week and Liberation Week.
For the first time in their lives, they can use the parks, they can walk on the streets. You have people who can walk freely at night without having to worry about being robbed or mugged. They're wearing their watches again. They're wearing jewelry again. They're carrying purses again. It is a literal statement that President Trump has freed 700,000 people in this city who are living under the rule of criminals and thugs.
This isn't just a win for your wife who wants to wear jewelry. You know the jewelry you bought her. Guys can show off the bling too.
I don't even got it on my shoulder no more. I'm walking around with it. Listen, jump out on me if you want. I'm gonna scream. They're gonna be here in 33 seconds. I got some help, some backup. For real, you help. You talking about? I'm gonna blow your ass. Look, they right here. Look, they outside. Oh, God Almighty.
No murders, and guys can wear flashy watches and take girls to dinner. Who's against that?
Why has Bowser allowed DC to be a playground for white gentrifiers and developers at the expense of the native population?
So misguided. Trump's going to protect whites and blacks, whether they like it or not. Big Balls won't have to take one for the team anymore. He was jumped saving a girl from getting carjacked, but he's back from the hospital throwing up 225 on the bench. They're calling him Swole Balls. Meanwhile, Democrats can't even get it up without help.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3. Let's go! Yeah, let's go! Hey!
Tommy Mondami couldn't do one rep with 45s on the side without someone lifting it for him. If he can't manage 135 pounds, how's he going to manage the weight of New York? It's not a light job. And talk about being unprepared. You go into Men's Day in Brooklyn with the cameras hot, and it looks like you've never been to the gym. This guy's not ready to run New York. He's just winging it. Zoolander will be walking around with armed bodyguards. It doesn't matter if he's a weakling, but you'll have to fend for yourself because he's giving an easy pass to criminals. He wants to scrap misdemeanors and wants to send social workers to crime scenes and keep cashless bail. But Trump's writing an executive order overruling it.
I mean, they kill people and they get out. Cashless bail. They thought it was discriminatory to make people put up money because they just killed 3 people lying on the street. Any street, country, cashless bail. We're ending it, but we're starting by ending it in D.C., and that we have the right to do through federalization.
In Greenwich Village, 2 convicted killers were arrested selling drugs in the park, and the city let them walk with no bail. A Tren de Aragua gang member was wanted for homicide, and they arrested him, and he got out no bail. A pickpocketer was busted 45 times just last year, and he's still out on the streets. Cashless was such a problem in Chicago, they reversed it. But Chicago homicides are still way too high. Homicides were higher every year in Chicago under Biden than under Obama. Trump says the Guard might have to pay the Windy City a little visit.
Is the Pentagon preparing for military deployment to Chicago? And with what you said there, are you waiting for the government?
We're ready to go anywhere. You know, I hate to barge in on a city and then be treated horribly by corrupt politicians and bad politicians like a guy like Pritzker. You got to spend more time in the gym, actually.
Chicago could look like Epcot, but Governor J.B. Back Ribs says it's already utopia.
Well, here I am on the path on the lakefront at 6 a.m. on Monday, and we got a lot of people running, having a great time. It doesn't feel like a hellhole here. In fact, everybody's having a great time and
good afternoon. Good afternoon. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. Let's get to 100 likes. Please double tap the screen, hit thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's get the likes up. 50 people to thumbs up the video, please. Thank you.
Back should take that act to the south side. 6 people were killed there this weekend, including a kid. And the governor doesn't appreciate the fat jokes.
From my perspective, it takes one to know one on the weight question. And the president, of course, himself is not in good shape. So he ought to respond to that from me.
Instead of I'm rubber, you're glue, J.B. Back should say thank you. D.C. is on its 12th day of no murders, after they averaged 1 every other day for 30 years. Pritzker should say, yeah, let's save lives together. The mayor of Chicago, who's one of the most unpopular mayors in the country, with a 26% approval rating, says if Trump sends the Guard to protect blacks from killing each other, he's going to mount an insurrection.
The people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
Lemonade Renters Insurance protects you from
like the video, like the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There's about 87 people in the building. Please hit the subscribe button and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in.
Why wouldn't he want help from Trump? Because Trump's white? Because he's a Republican? What? Because this is all about politics. Johnson and JB can't do their job. And if President Trump, who doesn't even live there, isn't even from there, can do it better in a couple of weeks, how does that make them look? Useless. Also makes them look like they really don't care. Trump's about to do to crime what he did to the border. Just like he showed politicians it was possible to control the border, now he's going to show them it's possible to control crime. These lifelong politicians keep everyone's expectations so low because they don't do anything with the power we give them. So when someone comes along and actually does something with that power, it makes the useless ones go crazy because it exposes their limp system that lets them stay in control. Judge Jeanine Pirro says, if you want to fight tyranny, fight crime.
You know what tyranny is? Tyranny is when you can't walk outside and go to dinner. Tyranny is when they shoot you and the person walks out of jail before you get out of the hospital. Tyranny is when people are not made accountable. Johnson ought to hope that the president comes there to clean up the mess in Chicago.
Trump's managing to unite the left and the right, while the politicians who sit up above are left out in the cold.
Have you been in Chicago? Have you been in Baltimore? But my daughter went to school in Chicago. I remember the day she graduated, there were shootings and killings right outside of her building. And in Baltimore, I have friends that go down to Johns Hopkins, get treated for medical conditions. I mean, they are nervous about ever going there. Then this is not some right-wing person. This is somebody who wants to be able to go into some of our great cities and be able to be safe.
The city of Baltimore, the population's gone down by 300,000 people. Baltimore is rated the 4th most dangerous city in America. And Governor Westmore doesn't want Trump's help. He just wants him to come take a walk.
Donald Trump, if you are not willing to walk our communities, keep our name out of your mouth. Because if you were willing to visit, if you were willing to spend time, if you were willing to actually walk our communities and walk our streets and not just talk about it in office, you would see what we see. One of the greatest cities in the United States of America.
Trump had to decline politely. Quote, Governor Westmore of Maryland has asked in a rather nasty and provocative tone that I walk the streets of Maryland with him. I assume he is talking about out-of-control, crime-ridden Baltimore. As president, I would much prefer that he clean up this crime disaster before I go there for a walk. West is talking a big game, but less than a year ago, he was kissing the ring.
Presidents, welcome back to Maryland, sir. Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you. It's a great person, too. Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. Great to have you back here. Great to have you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we were very, very anxious to be able to work closely with you.
West wanted to work closely with Trump when he thought no one was watching. But now he's running for president, so he's resisting like JB back. Crime was one of the most important issues in the last election. It ranked higher than foreign policy and the deficit. The president has a mandate. That's how democracy works.
And they say, we don't need him. Freedom, freedom. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and I'm a smart person. And when I see what's happening to our cities, and then you send in troops, instead of being praised, they're saying you're trying to take over the republic. These people are sick.
Black on black crime is going to keep raging if everyone's so afraid to talk about it. You can't arrest your way out of drugs, gangs, and broken homes, but it's a good start. If there's not going to be consequences at home, there's going to be consequences in society. And a party that doesn't believe in consequences isn't a party. It's anarchy. The left lost millions of voters over defund the police and open borders. And Trump's going to be going city to city with ICE and the Guard, cracking down on crime and illegals. And if there's a faction of politicians that fight that, they're going to suffer bad headlines 24/7. Or they can do the right thing and work with Trump to turn their cities into the Magic Kingdom. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to get...
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Please like the video as you guys come in. Please like the video as you guys come in. There's about 88 in the building. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and thank you.
We are returning to...
Like the video as you guys come in. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in.
Here's what I want you to know. This is the first time in 112 years that a U.S. president has moved to force out a Fed governor. The independence of the Federal Reserve has been a key element of American exceptionalism for over a century.
And in one single social media post, President Trump made...
First off, this is my page. You're not going to tell me what to do. Your little like won't do anything for me. You can like it. You can not like it. You can go goodbye. Thank you very much. Don't be rude in my comments. I don't play that over here.
Back to the curb tonight. And his cause?
I don't have to show you nothing.
An allegation of mortgage fraud made by a member of the Trump administration, Bill Pulte, who oversees mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We now have a statement from Lisa Cook that reads in part the following. President Trump purported to fire me for cause, when no cause exists under the law, and he has no authority to do so. I will not resign. I will continue to carry out my duties to help the American economy as I have been doing since 2022, end quote. Now, this allegation and the attempt to remove Cook clearly raises the question of the president's real motivation. Is it to push out Biden appointees and phase in those with loyalty to President Trump? Well, given his frustration with the Fed chair, it's a possibility. But it's also important to remember, the committee that sets interest rates has 12 members. 7 of them are Fed governors appointed by the president, like Lisa Cook, but the other 5 members are heads of regional Fed banks. The president does not get to appoint them. But either way, we're already seeing an impact in the markets since the president's announcement. The U.S. dollar dropped on the news, weakening against other major currencies. With me now to discuss, Natasha Stern, former Treasury official and Yale Law professor, and Brendan Greeley, contributing editor for the Financial Times. Natasha, what is your reaction to the news?
You know, I am really, really disheartened and disappointed to see the politicization of the Federal Reserve. I think, and you got to it in your intro, Steph, we're in a situation where the independence of the central bank is such a critical national asset and such a key pillar of our economic security that it's been really hard to watch over the course of the last many months, the president and this administration try to interfere in the monetary policy function of the Federal Reserve. And I'm worried, frankly, about the signal that this sends about our economic strength. And I think you're starting to see that the market is worried as well.
Brendan, you've actually been writing a 500-year history of the dollar. It's like the new 50 Shades of Grey, Brendan Greeley style. How is this news going to change this last chapter of your book? 500 years of the dollar?
It's been driving me crazy. I keep having to rewrite the last chapter of the book as he makes various threats towards Fed independence. Look, the challenge, as you pointed out, is the Federal Open Market Committee actually sets interest rates. And you're absolutely right. The regional Fed governors have a vote on that. It's very unlikely that all of a sudden we're going to get incredibly low interest rates to make Donald Trump happy. Even the Trump appointees, Michelle Bowman and Christopher Waller, are sort of reasonably decent economists who've done responsible things at the Fed. However, the Board of Governors itself, if he gets a majority on the Board of Governors, does a lot of really important work that we never see. They take care of payments. The original, if we're going to go back to the history of the Fed, the original goal of the Fed was to make sure that dollar bills, banknotes, could actually make it into the hands of people who needed them during a financial crisis. So one thing that you never see is that the Fed has got 28 depots securely located around the country, and every time you go to an ATM to get a dollar out of the ATM, a truck has driven with that dollar from one of those depots. So that's cash services. They also manage payments, transfers among banks. There's a lot of really dense technical work that the Fed does. And if he successfully removes Lisa Cook, then what she's going to be replaced with is somebody who's not competent. And we're going to see a slow erosion of competence at the Fed, which is crucial to the way the economy works in all sorts of ways we're never going to see until it all falls apart. I think the other message this sends is everybody else at the Fed knows that he can do this to anyone at any time. So the chilling effect that this is going to have on Fed independence when they actually give public speeches, whatever they say in private that is then reported out as the Fed minutes weeks later, all of this stuff they now know that the White House is going to watch it and patrol it, and they're going to find dirt on everybody else at the Board of Governors.
Well, let's just talk politics for a moment then, Natasha, because if the president gets his way and rates are lowered, it could cause inflation to spike. And spiked inflation is one of the main drivers that hurt Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
You know, it's kind of all stunning to watch because we're in a situation where the president walked into the administration with an economy that was strong and with inflation coming down towards its 2% inflation target. And now we're in a situation where, as a result of the most inflationary policies that we've seen in our lifetimes through this trade war, inflation is ticking back up. And if the administration wants to see interest rates lower, there's like a very clear thing that they have full control over that they can do. And it has nothing to do with central bank independence. It really involves rolling back those sets of policies in ways that would counteract the inflation that we've set out. And so I'm just a little bit, again, puzzled by why the reaction isn't let's rethink some of the economic policy, and instead it's let's potentially squander this critical national asset that is the independence of the central bank.
I recently tried a case and won the largest verdict in Michigan.
Like the video. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and continue to hit the like button. Let's get the likes to 80. Can I please get 50 people to double tap that screen? Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
All right, new topic, an astonishing one, another astonishing one. An intervention by this administration, right? Not during any sort of economic crisis. The government announced that they are taking a 10% stake in Intel. And Trump's economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, said, get used to it. This could be part of a broader strategy to create a sovereign wealth fund. Brendan, can you walk us through this? Because if the government is now taking stakes in private businesses when we are not in any time of crisis, right? We saw this happen for a period of time during the financial crisis with financial firms. But yes, Intel's stock is way down. The company has not been doing well compared to its rivals. But are you serious? Our government during bullish times is now going to own a piece of a corporation? How's this going to work?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
The question you just asked how this went down. We have to walk back through how it actually happened. He invited the CEO of a publicly listed company to the White House and then shook him down for a stake in the company. This was not a question where...
Brendan, after he said the guy was unfit to run the company and should be fired.
Yes. Sorry, so many details to keep track of. So many horrific details. Look, so this is not a case of the company coming to the government and saying, hey, look, we need to expand, or we're important for national security, or this is something that we need to run the broader economy. How can we work with you as part of a broader subsidization process? None of that happened. The president invited a CEO to the White House and shook him down for a 10% stake for free. And so, I mean, the consequences of that are one of the most important engines of the American economy, and I wish this weren't so, but it is so, is America's capital markets. People come here to be listed. Companies come here to be listed because we have the rule of law, because we have deep and liquid capital markets, because we have financial expertise here, and we have a lot of capital. It's a really good place to get financing for your company. Why would any company continue to do that when at any point the government can shake you down for 10%?
Hello.
Okay, Natasha, I get it. It's critically important that we make chips here. That is what Intel does. So maybe on some level there are benefits. But politically speaking, you've got the Republican Party. You've got Wall Street going absolutely ballistic in New York. That you've got a mayoral candidate in Mamdani who suggests maybe we have a few grocery stores that are government run. That is sending Wall Street and Republicans to the hills screaming and yelling and losing their minds. But this, the federal government taking a stake in Intel, that seems normal?
Yeah, and you know, as sort of an economist, if we step back and pull back a little to understand what's going on here, something that I find really important, and it relates to this conversation we were having about the Federal Reserve as a critical engine of our economic security, is another really important pillar of our economic security is the idea that we are in a rules-based capitalist system. And what I'm worried about, you can make an argument around national security and chips and Intel specifically. The thing that's worrying, though, is what we're seeing is this is one piece of a broader puzzle where we're also talking about shaking down Nippon Steel. We're also talking about conversations with respect to particular law firms and the terms by which they're going to have access to federal buildings. And so it all seems to be part of a move away from this rules-based capital system. And that comes at, again, real risks to our economic security that aren't short-term risks that are going to immediately be rolled back when we have another administration or another set of policies. These are long-term consequences that I'm really quite concerned with.
Like the video, like the video. Okay, so now we're going to get into hot topics, trending topics, and what's going on in media. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video as you guys come in. Fair use. Let's get into Cardi B is Stan.
Oh my God, y'all. Cardi B's here. So I kind of speed walk, but I feel her behind me. Then I hear something like, oh my God, Cardi B is here. So I turn around and she had her phone. She didn't have it here no more. Now she has it here. And I asked her, yo, why are you recording me? And she clearly looked like the security. She looked like the security guard. She's uniformed down. And I'm like, why are you recording me? Are you security? And she's like, oh my bad. But then I'm walking and I feel her still following me. So like as I'm walking, speed walking, trying to look for the office, I turn around again and I'm like, why are you following me? She's like, because I can. I was like, no, you can't. Why are you following me for? Like, ain't you supposed to be security? And she's like, because I can. It was like, no, you can't. She said, oh my God, yo, Cardi B's here. So I kind of speed walk, but I feel her behind me. Then I hear her talking like, oh my God, Cardi B is here. So I turn around
Next clip.
and she had her phone. And she's like getting closer and closer. Like now she's like in front of me where I can't even like really maneuver. And I'm like, ain't you supposed to be security? Like you grouped out, you're recording me. Now you're following me. Like back up. And she's like, I can do what I want. It's like, no, you can. Like you can't do what you want. And that's when we started arguing.
What did you start?
I was like, you can't do what you want. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like you invading my privacy, and now we're like chest to chest practically. So I keep telling her like, you need to back up. And I'm thinking to myself like, this girl is big. She's big. She got big black boots on, and I'm like, damn. What am I gonna do now? And she's like getting closer and closer.
Next
like now
clip.
she's like in front of me, right in my face, like on my chest, and we're arguing. And I keep telling her to back up, but she's not backing up. And we're arguing, cursing at each other. I did call her the B word. I did call her a bitch. Like, bitch, get out of my face. I did say, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You're in my face. You're screaming in my face. We're like literally screaming at each other. And she kept telling me, like, you're going to leave my building. I'm not leaving. Like, how you harassing me? I'm not leaving. Like, how you telling me to leave? I came to see a doctor. You following me. You're recording me. I'm just trying to check my cat. You're recording me. And we're arguing. That's when the receptionist came out. She started wilding out, like, this bitch hit me, and I'm like, I did not hit me, right in my face, like, on my chest. And
next clip.
And I keep telling her down, like, girl, I can't even hit you if I want to. You're bigger than me, and you're pregnant. And she just started wilding out, like, this bitch hit me. Then the doctor came out, and he was like, go to my office. And after that, I just walk away. And that's just that.
Are you aware in the city of Beverly Hills, if a security guard tells you to leave the building, which they are security of, you would be required to do that? Do you agree with that?
Objection, relevance.
Security not supposed to. Look down like, girl, I can't even hit you if I want to. You're bigger than me, and you're pregnant.
And again, excuse my language, but she was like, bitch, that's why I'm gonna beat your. I'm gonna get you fired. That's why you do security. That's why you do security. She was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs. Just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on the body?
It did.
Why did you exit the elevator and speak with her after she said what she said?
I wanted to clarify the misunderstanding. And again, excuse my language, but she was like, bitch, that's why I'm gonna beat your. I'm gonna get you fired. That's why you do security. That's why you do security. She was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs. Just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on the body?
It did.
Another court case.
Why did you exit the elevator?
That's not true. I didn't record her or film her.
The question was, is it correct that you denied using your personal cell phone to photograph or videotape Cardi B on February 24, 2018?
Yes.
It's actually big enough to use. And isn't it correct that you don't have that phone, right? You no longer have that phone. You disposed of it. You can't show us that phone and show that you don't have any photographs or videos of Cardi B. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And rather than simply leaving,
you stepped out of the elevator and told Cardi B to repeat what she said. Say it again. Isn't that what you?
That's not true. I didn't record her or film her.
Next clip.
No.
Well, if you look at the incident report, quote, you see in the second paragraph, I stepped out of the elevator and asked her to repeat what she said to me, and so she did, angrily putting her finger in my face and yelling at me. Do you see that?
I stepped out of the elevator to clarify.
And you told her to say that again, right?
I don't remember saying say that again.
And your testimony was that you and Cardi B yelled at each other for 30 seconds.
She yelled at me. My voice was firm because I was upset.
Are you denying that you testified at your deposition and stated to Dr. McKenzie that you were yelling and cursing at Cardi B?
I'm not denying it. I just wanted to clarify. No.
Well, if you look at the incident report.
So y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole Cardi B trial situation. Another court case for Cardi B. Generally, there was in regards to the Diddy situation, there was a lawsuit dismissed. Let's continue. Like the video as you guys come in. Y'all can see what that's saying. I can't confirm or deny if there's any tapes out there. I always clear myself, so I can't confirm or deny if there's tapes out there. This was Lil Nas X.
I want to say, because I don't want you guys to feel like I'm being flaky and very.
This is a few months ago.
Very all over the place, but I was for a long time. You know, these last few years were pretty difficult for me. They have been pretty difficult for me, and I'm just now like arriving to this place of feeling confidence in myself and what I'm doing, and I'm trying to make sure I put intention towards my music and my vision and the creativity of it all. And most of all, I really want to make sure I have fun this time around. I don't think I got to have as much fun during the Montero era because I was more overly focused on, I don't know, making sure the songs did well than making sure I was like having fun doing, you know, shit, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I didn't have any fun. I had some fucking fun, okay? But I want this time around to be even more fun. I want to be like even more full of joy, and I want to be even more full of love, and I want to go out here in this fucking world, and I want to wave my fucking hands in the sky and move about freely. And that's what the fucking Dream Boy era is.
Too many F-bombs. Gotta continue. So yeah, you can't burn the flag. Okay, so this is being talked about that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. They are engaged. Many celebrities are congratulating them on their engagement. So congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis. There's a lot of women that are, well, I'll say this. Selena Gomez is engaged. Now Taylor Swift is engaged. I'm sure there's other, but right now we're focusing on Taylor Swift and Selena. So congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis. So that is the day of, and then that's them telling Gayle that she's most likely engaged, and Gayle's just happy. And even Donald Trump had even said congratulations to them both. So a lot of people are celebrating their love and that they've been together for a while. So congratulations to Taylor and Travis. Yeah, are you guys surprised? Many people aren't surprised. So I can't play that video because there's music on there. He's talking about Wendy Williams. So go over there with Gary with the T to listen to what he has to say about Wendy. Certain clips I can't play. Okay, so you got to go over to this clip. Okay, this young lady, because I can't confirm or deny if there's really something going on. This young lady, go on site and check out what she's saying about Simon Guobadia. a lot of times I protect my page. I can't confirm or deny because I don't know if she showed receipt. She's going in on Simon Guobadia. And basically what she's talking about is he's contacting women and he's asking allegedly, am I being recorded? What type of business are you in? What type of finances do you have? I can't confirm or deny because it did not show any type of receipts. Maybe on another video she has receipt if this video is longer, but she's talking about Simon. As you know, Simon Guobadia is divorced from Portia Williams. So other people have did the video. I'm not going to do the video. I'm not going to repeat what she's saying, but she's saying you guys don't really know who he is. I can't confirm or deny because at this point I didn't see receipts. Because a lot of times people will show that they even spoke. You know, she said she had a Ring camera and her Ring camera was recording the conversation. So I don't know if they even have a friendship, relationship. I don't even know if they know each other. That's why I'm not going to play it. Okay, is there anything else I want to talk about? Like the video as you guys come in. We're just talking hot topics, trending topics. It looks like the Combs children kind of did a little playful. Can't play this either because of the music. Baby girl Combs dancing away, having a good old time. Then they're hugging each other. So sweet moment for the Combs children. Well wishes for the children because I can't even imagine. For some, R.I.P. to Kim Porter. She's not here. That's the twins' mother. And then baby Combs' mother is still, you know, living well. But yeah, they're just doing like a cute photo shoot, baby Combs. So there's that. So congratulations to Taylor and Travis. I'm not certain when they're going to have the wedding. I don't know if anybody mentioned that. But yeah, they've been together for a while. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. A lot of their friends are supporting their love. She has a really busy schedule. He does too. I'm not even certain if he still plays football. I know when they had first started dating, of course, she was going to some of his football games, but I would imagine he's probably still playing football. Okay, Kris Jenner, I guess, did a Vogue cover. I guess she's saying if her daughters want to retire, she'll start doing photo shoots and showing what she wants to show. So there's the pictures in regards to Vogue. So you go over there to see her photo shoot. So yeah, a lot's going on in regards to the Kardashians. Kim is posting pictures with North. Many people are calling Kim out. Is Kim doing that to trying to go viral with North? As a mom, should Kim be protecting from media? It was a private moment. Why couldn't Kim have that private moment with North? And everyone keeps mentioning that North is 12. North is not 16, 17, 18, 19. North is 12. For a while, North was wearing outfits that were larger. She would do different things that Kanye's done. Now, Kim wants her dressing as she's dressing her. Now, this is what Kim's going to say. Let her be. Let her experiment. Let her be what she wants to be. Let her be creative. Kim's going to try and make people feel like they're crazy for calling Kim out for how she dresses her 12-year-old. You got to remember the Ice Spice situation concerning her sitting on Pete Davis's lap concerning what Kim allows. That's what people are calling out. How Kim portrays her on the show concerning, and now Kim wants the media in regards to North's outfit. So people are calling Kim out. Is Kim a great role model? Let me know in the comments. Is Kim and Kris great role models? Let me know in the comments. So that's the only picture I'm going to show. I'm not going to talk about that. I guess the Combs twins have an event coming up. That's some other talking about. Okay. So Funky Dineva is talking about this Tamar situation. And he actually went in on his live this morning talking about Tamar. I should play the clip so y'all could hear what he had to say. Do you guys think the Kardashians are role models? Let me know in the comments. So Funky Dineva went off this morning and he was talking about Tamar and the situation. And I get why he's upset. Maybe I should. So you guys, because as I was out running errands, I listened to the clip. He was basically telling Tamar, hey, just clear my name. That's what Funky Dineva wanted her to do. He was basically saying, just clear my name, Tamar. He was basically saying he's getting dragged in the media and he just wanted Tamar to clear his name. So like the video as y'all come in, I will play some of it in regards to his thoughts and feelings on what's going on between him and Tamar.
8-month marriage ends in divorce disaster.
Wait.
Ex Keita Vaccaro is set to collect 20
Hold on.
to 50.
I want y'all to name a world, name a universe, name a planet where people start accusing you of doing something nefarious to somebody and you just sit back and you don't say anything. I want y'all to name a world where people accuse you of drugging somebody, doing something wrong to them. That faggot ain't nobody friend. That sissy punk ain't never been nobody friend. He hate black women. I know he did. Let's clear up something very quickly at the top of this video. There seems to be this misconception that I ran to the internet, told what happened to this girl, and then all of this other stuff happened, and that is not the case. That is not how it happened, okay? For the record, so many of y'all out there are so committed to disliking me and only want to view me through the lens of being some messy punk that you can't see the forest for the goddamn trees. Tamar Braxton took to her social media first and wrote she almost died in a pool of blood and fell out and all of this different stuff. I found that out at the same time y'all found that out, okay? It wasn't until I get ready to log on my show and I'm looking on the internet and everybody, oh, that junkie was with her last night. I know he did something. That's why you got to watch the friends you keep. He did. Somebody up that knows. At first, it was cute. It was just a few little comments. Big deal. I've weathered far worse storms. Then all of a sudden, it started growing legs. When I logged on to do my show, there was 7,000 people sitting in the hallway waiting. The entire chat said, Tamar, tell us what happened to Tamar. Tell us what you did to Tamar. Tamar, you know what we want to talk about. He want to talk about everything except Tamar. I wanted to avoid everything with Tamar because y'all kept hounding me. Tamar. My response was, I don't know what happened to the lady. All I know is the lady called me and asked me for Dr. Heavenly phone number because she said 14 was missing. I don't know what happened to the lady. At the point in which I said, I don't know what happened to the lady, Tamar had already told far worse that she had woke up and almost was in a pool of blood and all of this type of stuff. So y'all got it twisted, all right? So that was that. I'm thinking I'm clearing it up, all right? Now listen. Maybe there's a world where I shouldn't have even said that. But there damn sure was not going to be a world where I was going to let...
Like the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Internet start crafting this narrative that I did something to this damn girl. Okay. So I'm in Miami, tootsie rolling and having a good time. All of a sudden, stories start dropping. Funky not even trying to unalive Tamar. I send this to her. I send it to her. And I write, girl, this thing is starting to grow legs. And she writes back, I'm lost, I'm confused, I didn't say anything, I'm in the hospital. And what I can do with that? At the point in which somebody tells you they're in the hospital, you can't continue bothering them with petty internet drama. So when she hit me with the Uno reverse, I'm in the hospital, I just wrote back, you know what? Don't worry about it. Get well. I can weather this. I've weathered worse. The whole while, the whole TikTok, the whole YouTube, everybody is going, think pieces down to the ground. And let me explain to you why this moment right here is so necessary for me.
and so gratifying. In this particular moment, it actually has less to do about Tamar and more to do about all of y'all out there that dislike me so bad, and all of y'all out there who are so committed to this narrative of me being some type of messy punk, a messy sissy. Y'all have to eat crow like a motherfucker right now, and I am loving every minute of it. Oh, baby, you internet detectives knew all the ins and outs of everything, and y'all just knew what the hell was going on, and the whole time, baby, I was in my bed. It's somewhere in Miami. Y'all knew every damn thing. And the funny thing about it is, now that the shit's coming to the surface, you watch and see these same internet detectives, instead of just taking your L, or instead of just saying, you know what, dang, I was wrong. I don't even want you to say I'm sorry, because I know that that's too big for the level of emotional maturity many of y'all carry. I don't even want you to say I'm sorry. Is it too much to get you to just say, damn? I mean, because y'all sat up and assassinated the shit out of my character over the weekend, when all in all, I'm just as clueless to the whole situation as y'all are. So over the weekend, after she said, I'm in the hospital, I said, you know what? Get well soon. I'm gonna do my best to enjoy Miami and going about my business. I'm steady texting and calling different people in the...
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. If you've already hit subscribe, thank you. If you did not hit subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. Let's continue, fair use, reaction clip.
Nobody's answering the phone for me. One person texted me back a few hours later and was like, you know, I was busy, sorry. And it just gave me a very vague, y'all should talk. The other person not answering the phone at all. All right. So I said, fine. I'll just let the internet eat me up. The lady not doing well. The lady is recovering. I don't know what's going on with the lady. I'm not going to bother her about clearing my name if something medically wrong don't happen to the lady. Now, keep in mind, at the same time she posts, I almost died and is found in a pool of blood, she still texting me. Friend, oh my God, friend, I don't even know what happened. So I wrote back, wait, I'm confused. You went to bed and you woke up and 4 of your teeth was missing. No response to that. But then later, texting about every damn thing else under the sun. So I'm like, okay. As this thing starts going more legs, I'm over here getting nervous, like, okay, like, girl, she gonna need to say something. Let me check in with her. Hey, girl, how you doing? Say, my girl, what the hell happened? Zero response. But you all in your Instagram stories posting cryptic messages and posting messages and whatnot, so you see your phone. And just like every other adult and every other entertainer and every other person that got a project coming out, you're glued to the blogs. So you see, and because I know you and I know how much you dig in the comments and you're concerned about what people say about you, you see what these people out here doing to me. You see what these people out here doing to me. And you just ain't gonna say nothing. Now you're not even responding to me. At a minimum, had you would have wrote, friend, I'm fine. Just let it ride. We'll talk later. I'd have been fine with it. Let me just be in on it. Or maybe if there's nothing to be in on, the fact that you were willing to just sit back and let me be collateral damage and all this, even if you didn't want to say nothing publicly, you could have said something privately. Like, damn, friend, you caught up. The whole while I'm being accused of not being a friend to you. I'm being accused of being a messy sissy that ran to the internet to tell your business when that's not even how it happened. The whole while, even then and even now, I'm holding on to your business. I'm trying to protect you medically. I'm trying to protect you romantically. Even in this moment, I'm trying to protect you medically. I'm trying to protect you romantically, but you're not going to play with me. So yesterday, I'm laying in my bed, minding my business like I always do, despite the fact that y'all want to make me out to be so messy.
Now here, listen to the next part. Like the video as y'all come in.
Minding my business like I always do, and I'm getting text messages saying, okay, now wait, what's going on in this video? And I said, see, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this video was going to come out, and then the narrative was going to shift to, they did all of this for a PR stunt, and he in the video. They did not do anything. Yes, I was in the video. I just wanted to be in on the joke. I I would have went along with it. So now, here is where I'm at with it. You gonna pay me for my pain. You gonna pay me for my pain.
What?
Everybody here want to hear what I got to say, and I want to get it off my chest. And now, he just clout chasing. This is the clout chase part, because now I'm gonna make my money off the situation. Since we promoting albums, and everybody only care about their side of the aisle, you finna pay me for my pain. All my money that I spent in Miami this weekend, being rich and fabulous, I'm finna make it back off of your ass. Since people are now disposable, and since people are now can just be leveraged for promotion, since we not leveraging people for promotion, you finna pay me for my pain. And I'm finna get paid all this week off of this situation. Okay? And let's not get it twisted. Because see, now I'm finna tell it. Let me sit up. Now I'm finna tell it. Before I tell it. Because I'm finna tell it. I'm finna tell it.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Let's continue. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, you guys. Continue to hit the like button. Can I get 40 people to double tap that screen to hit the like? 40 people to hit the thumbs up above the video.
But before I tell it, last night, after it dropped, I put in the group text with her and her manager my response on her page about the video. And I said, once I realized what this was, I said, oh, this is all jokes, ain't it? Let's break the internet. She gonna text back a heart emoji and gonna say, we can make up later, but I still love you. Okay, so now you responded. See, that's the part that made me realize, oh, you really didn't mind me being collateral damage in this. You gonna write, we can make up later, I still love you. So that's when I was like, oh, we having fun. Okay, tag me in, coach. So that's when I went on the shade room and was like, oh, so you not gonna say nothing? And you use me to be in this tired ass music video, hashtag Muppet. Because now that I'm in on the joke, bitch, we both finna make a coin. All of a sudden, now they want to call me on a three-way FaceTime. Talking about, Q, please don't do this. Y'all, please don't do this on the internet. They steady calling me. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not answering the phone. No. He's like, Q, please don't do this. No. Let her ass feel what I felt over the weekend. Let her ass feel what I felt over the weekend. She's talking about, so this is gonna write, let me read this shit. Let me read this. Then this lady got the nerve to write, please don't ruin my project. I've spent so much money for this project. This is my career.
Good afternoon.
Girl, this is your career. This is my life.
Good afternoon.
Are you serious right now? These people accuse me of doing some of the most heinous things I've ever been accused of on the planet. And the only thing you got to say to me in this moment is, please don't ruin this for me. I spent my money on this project. This is my project in my career. When all I was asking was for you to go back to your stories and put, Funky Dineva didn't do anything to me, guys. I was resting. I should have said something earlier. That was all you had to do, and it could have been done with on my end. Even in this very moment, that was all you had to do, and it could have been done. Before I even tell y'all the rest, I woke up this morning. Her publicist called me. Q, what can we do to put this thing to bed? Tell her to go in her stories and write, Funky Dineva did not do anything to me. I should have said something sooner. This was about 40 minutes before I even decided to do this live. I told him I'm sitting up right now to brush my teeth. She got between the time I brush my teeth and I walk my ass down to my YouTube studio to make this video. Still ain't said nothing. You had an opportunity to put the lid back on this can of worms. Still ain't said nothing. But yet I'm supposed to sit here and be concerned about your project, and I'm supposed to be concerned about your career, and something.
So do y'all feel that Tamar is really messy? Should she have came out and said, I'm fine, Funky left, I would, because you got to really read the message, because Tamar had said something about her teeth, and she said something about a friend, and everybody should be poking about that friend. If Funky Dineva has said he left, who's the other friend that was with her is what should be asked. Who's the friend that was with her, that went into the house, or that was with her that night? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
As quick as a 20-second post, just a little 20-second. And her publicist was like, well, hold on, Q. I need you to take the time frame off of it. She's in mommy mode this morning, baby. I don't give a damn if she got to drop her baby in the carpool line or take her baby to the optometrist. That ain't got nothing to do with me. She better do it to the damn stoplights.
She's had days to do something.
Y'all leave him alone. That's my friend. She could have wrote a cryptic message. Funky Dineva, I love you. You could have wrote anything. Let them people know I ain't did nothing to you after all the hell I went through this weekend. And I'm supposed to care about your career and your project when this is my reputation.
Very messy. Stand clear. Huh.
Support me. Don't say anything. You got offended because of what you said, not because of anything I said. Now, I'm going to back up. There is some truth to that. She never once said my name. She never once said my name. And in hindsight, I'm going to be honest. And in hindsight, perhaps if I didn't make the video saying I didn't know what happened to the lady, it may not have garnered the amount of attention that it garnered. I accept and I acknowledge that in hindsight. However, it doesn't change the fact that there was tons and tons and tons of people saying I did something to you and asking me about it. You was the last person seen with her. You was the last person seen with her. I almost died in the hospital fighting for my life for 4 days. Finally, I got tired of it and I wrote, you cannot be serious after what I endured this weekend. Girl, fuck you. Please take this down. This is horrible. I was proud of me. I'm not proud of you. How you gonna be proud of you and I'm getting ate up in the process, sis? Like you cannot honestly expect somebody to just stand by you.
All she would have had to say is that the police is investigating what happened. We're checking our cameras. Funky Dineva did leave. That's all she would have had to do. Real talk. Messy, messy, messy boots. These celebrities love media attention. They love media attention, clicks, and views. This has been dragging on for days. Messy, messy. I told y'all 2 weeks ago when she was on the phone with Tony and Tony said what she said, Tamar was laughing. I don't even know if Tony knew she was being recorded. I told y'all 2 weeks ago she was messy boots. And Tony Braxton is so laid back. She not in the media like that. And she was recording Tony. And Tony had said something about Tamar was saying something about, oh, I'm about to read my Bible and chill. And Tony had said something about that. And then Tamar was laughing about that. I told y'all 2 weeks ago she was messy boots. 2 weeks ago, go check out that video when she's on the phone with Tony Braxton. She's recording her and she does a video and she's laughing about what Tony says. And then what does that do? That then puts Tony Braxton in the media when she probably didn't even want to be in the media. Now, 2 weeks later, Funky Dineva and her are in the media. These celebrities are messy. Messy, and they love media attention, clicks, and views.
And eat this up for the sake of you doing a project. And your project layout could still be on track. Could still be on track. And I don't know why you being so stubborn about it. I don't know why you being so stubborn about simply putting, y'all, Funky didn't do anything to me. I should have said something earlier, but I was recovering.
Right, right.
So now here's what the real gag is. Now here's what y'all ready for me to tell it? Because let's have fun. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got...
Even though he had said he pulled off and he didn't go upstairs. It was already understood. But Tamar should have stuck up for him, period. Let's continue.
Right? It ain't no fun.
Like the video.
The only reason the music video came out as early as it did was the... And even in this moment, I still don't have the heart to do it to you. And I'm still protecting you in this moment. Even in this moment, I still don't even have the heart to do it to you.
See? You got to be careful messing around with good friends.
All I'm asking is for you to simply say, Funky Dineva had nothing to do with it. I should have said something earlier. I didn't see it. I was resting and recovering. And all of this could be water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. I will take it down. I won't speak on. But until it happened, and the people texting me saying, tell it. The people, Tamar, all you got to do is make it right. Just make it right, and it all can be water under the bridge. All I'm asking is that you make it right. That's it.
And she hasn't yet. And he's been dragged in the media for days. So if y'all did not know, Deion Sanders did speak up in regards to his son. If you did not know, earlier this week, there was a football game that was played. A gentleman was grabbing on Shiloh's mask, and they were kind of going back and forth. Shiloh was the last one to get a punch in. So he was removed from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Many people are upset already of what's happening with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders should have went within the top 5 picks in the NFL draft. He did not. He dropped down to like number 44 of people being picked to be in the NFL. Some people are saying the NFL want to make an example of the Sanders boys. So was it Friday or was it Monday? There was a very famous, well-known football player that came out and said the NFL had told teams don't pick Shedeur Sanders. So that was trending. And then 3 to 4 days later, then Shiloh was in a football game and him and his kid was going back and forth. This is one thing I will tell y'all. When there's stuff going on with your kids, you got to tell your kids through every turn, somebody going to say something, do something, and you got to hold your composure. It's not okay what Shiloh did. It's not okay. You shouldn't be grabbing nobody, touching nobody. I wish Shiloh would have fell to the ground and not even responded to hitting this kid. Because if he would have, all he would have had to do, everybody, is make it within those 24 hours, and he might have been able to get a full contract with that team. But since that situation happened, they released him. So he's not going to be signed to the Tampa Bay. So as a father, you got to tell your kids, somebody going to do something, say something. Because right now, your brother is in the media and they're saying the NFL allegedly told all the NFL teams don't sign Shedeur. So then a few days later, you got the Shiloh situation. So many people feel that there is people that's coming forward to make them now look bad because allegedly what was said. Other people aren't treated this way, period. Either way, Deion Sanders is saying Shiloh's going to be fine. He's well-versed, he's well-rounded, and he's going to be straight with or without the football. It's sad that his sons have to go through this. And it's alleged that they're trying to make an example of his sons. Why though? Why you got to treat the sons that way? But the sons are doing stuff in regards to, and then they're saying in regards to Shedeur Sanders, they're trying to make him look bad because certain things that he should be doing, allegedly Shedeur's team isn't setting him up properly to succeed. So go check that out. And meaning different plays that should be played, different positions he should be in, he's not in. So allegedly they trying to say that they're trying to make Shedeur look bad. Now check this out too. Shedeur Sanders was what, number 2? And his jersey for number 2 sold really well. Now Shedeur Sanders is number 12. That jersey is selling really well. Well, why would y'all change his number? And allegedly, well, I can't confirm or deny that, but the number was changed from 2 to 12. So there's that. Well wishes to Shiloh. We'll see what happens. They're hoping that another team will pick him up. Currently, Shiloh has not been picked up from a team since he's been dropped from Tampa Bay. Let's continue. We recently heard about what Cardi B was saying.
Were they both real?
He's asking about her hair.
You had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Were they both real?
They're wigs.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. It's a good week today, then.
He said it's a good wig today. Cardi B is like, what? Look at her face.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Were they both real?
their wigs.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. It's a good week today, then.
Cardi B do have really nice hair though. Her hair is really long. It's down her back. Look at her face though. She's like, why would he ask me that?
Black hair, short hair.
She's like, why is he asking me that? So weird. Like the video. Okay, from Netflix, building the band. This was a great team. They're called Season 4. Check them out on Netflix. I love their music. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's Tristan and the Sun. Let's see. Was there anything else? Go over to Tiana Taylor's talking about her ex. I'm not going to play the clip, especially with it being from the Breakfast Club, but go over and listen to that. Okay, so many people have been talking about Kim. Is Kim a role model? People are talking about Kim and how North is dressed. North is 12. I'm glad it's blurry. North is 12. Is Kim putting North in a bad situation? Is Kim using North to trend? Is Kim using North to go viral? Go look at how they portray North on the show. Go look at how they portray Chloe on the show. Let me know how y'all feel. Is Kim using North to go viral? Is Kim putting North in a good situation? She's 12. She's not 16, 17, 18. She is not that age. Is Kim putting her in a good situation or a bad situation? Some people are saying it's not a big deal. She's finding her style. Kim's going to try and make everybody else feel like they're stupid and dumb. Oh, it's okay for her to try different stuff. It's okay for her to experiment. But let me know how y'all feel. Is she putting her in a bad situation? Is Kim wanting her to trend and get talked about because the Kardashians are being talked about? She was like, come on over here and get some of this. Because you figure, this could have been a private moment between mother and daughter, but it wasn't. She spends time with North all the time. But go check this out too, though. See, people are saying Kim's mom was the same way. Think about the Ray J situation. Think about how the girls talked about how they would do stuff when they were younger. Real talk, let's talk Kylie. Kylie dated Tyga at what age? Kylie dated Tyga at what age? But we also got to talk about Kanye. Look at how Kanye dresses his wife. Are Kim and Kanye good parents? Yes or no? She is 12. She's not even 16. She's 12. Generational issues. Man, generational issues. And then allegedly sometimes she lets North, because North is a beautiful girl. What she does have on is cute, but people are talking about it's a bustier. Why would a 12-year-old need a bustier? And this is the other thing people are talking about. You know how Kim is always cinching her waist? Is she not happy about her size and she's trying to cinch her in to make her smaller and thinner? Baby, that's some work. You know how Kim is always cinching her waist in, trying to make her waist look like so small. It's almost like she passing that same thing down to North, making her feel like her body and what it is ain't enough. I got to cinch you in like mine's is cinched in at 12. When you really think about it, she's cinching her in to make certain areas smaller and more boost. Like that's why it's called a bustier at 12. And then a lot of people are saying Kim is doing this, so when she turned 18, be like, oops, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. The Kardashians need to keep the kids off media, and they don't. Think about whenever there's a fashion show or an event, Kim act like she the only one that be at that hotel, and she got to have cameras looking at her as she coming out the hotel. Girl, there's other people at this hotel. It looks as if, allegedly, it looks as if Kim calls the paparazzi to take pictures of her coming out of hotels and going to the kids' school. Allegedly, there's a private interest. Kanye said, I don't want my kid on TikTok. And she's still doing it. She's still doing it. The Ice Spice situation was that great. How she portrays her on the show, having her eat an onion and putting her on camera eating an onion, it don't look good. How she portrays her. Kanye and how he dresses Bianca, so concerning. Bianca being tight, see-through stuff. So it's a concern for Kim and Kanye. Concern from both sides, Kim and Kanye. They putting those kids in media. Is it Kim or is it Chris? Because remember, for a while, they was only putting the girls in media. They weren't putting the boys in media. And Robbie keeps telling them every year, no, I don't want to go back on the show. No, I don't want to do no media. And every year, Chloe brings Rob into, hi, Rob. She calls him on the phone. He be on speaker. Oh, a pattern of. Okay. That's a good way to look at that. A pattern of. That's an interesting way to look at it. Oh, making a joke out of the childhood. Yeah, she should let her grow up. Let her be 18. There's some weirdos out here. Why would she not want to protect her daughter from media? Why would she not want to protect her daughter from media? And yes, we're going to talk about it. And it's had nothing to do with North. She looks gorgeous, but her outfit. We talking about Kim. North is always going to be a beautiful girl. She always going to try and bring it, but Kim is going to try and make it seem like, oh, people are overreacting. She's experimenting. If she was doing dress up, this is like dress up. And then check this out, y'all. Check this out. Many people are calling Kim out because it's like you're a grown woman having your child hang out with grown women. Where are the other children at? That's North's age. Where's the other children that's North's age? I don't know who these people are in the video, but is that some of her friends too wearing mini skirts? Or is those Kim friends? Some people are saying those Kim. I don't know. I don't know the people. But baby, it's not a good situation. Yup, she did get robbed out there. And it's like now she wearing a lot more. She wearing a lot of bling again. Remember she said she wasn't gonna do that no more? Protect her daughter from who? Not me. I ain't did. Oh, I was about to curse. I ain't did nothing. As a mother, you should protect the child from media, but the Kardashians aren't doing that. See? And that's the other thing. Men are talking about this too, that there's weird men out there taking these pictures. You gotta remember, Kim also supports still Balenciaga. Remember how that whole ad went with Balenciaga? North is a beautiful girl, but why isn't Kim protecting her from media? Real talk. The Kardashians are pushing the younger generation to trend and go viral, and they want them to grow up so fast because people are calling the Kardashians out, saying boring, same old storylines. Can't find a man, they're going to use the kids. Look at the Kanye West situation, concerning. Her sitting on Pete Davis' lap, concerning. Kim allowed so much. As Pete is riding with North's on his lap, and the youngest child is in the back seat. No, North should have been with the youngest child. If this was a different culture, they would be calling them out. Yep, I said that. Good or bad. Good press, bad press. They just want the press. They want to trend and go viral weekly. They want to trend and try and go viral weekly. And if a story or narrative isn't pushed, they'll try and push it again. If there's bad press, they'll try and create a product. When there was bad press about Kanye, Kim would put on a bathing suit. Kim Kanye situation concerning. Kim Kanye Pete Davis situation concerning. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan concerning. Khloe Kardashian, the Lamar Odom situation concerning. It don't matter if it, And that's the sad thing. People want to see them in healthy relationships. But a lot of times when Kim break up with somebody, she want to still talk about that person. She might be having a hard time finding a good man because she want to continuously talk about, or they want to push them to be on their show. And it's almost like how you look and the procedures, the alleged different procedures. People are calling them out for that too. And look at the mom. The mom just had something done. And then Kylie starts showing off herself. Kylie, Tory Lanez, concerning. Kylie, who else Kylie date? Tyga, concerning. Oh, we. Yeah, it's concerning. I'm surprised. I'm gonna keep that comment to myself. But this will make Kanye mad for sure. Remember how Kanye's there's a documentary that's supposed to come out of Kanye. A guy was following him for years, and maybe Kim is trying to distract away from that documentary. And allegedly, people are saying, is she trying to distract away from the documentary by posting up with North? So then you got the mom, she doing her photo shoot. They love media attention. They love it. It's almost like you got to look at me, you got to praise me, you got to say something about my outfit, you got to say something about my clothes, you got to say something about the bag I'm carrying, you got to say something about my house, you got to say something about my car, you got to watch me leave a building. And many people have said that the school they go to, there's a private entrance. Kim don't have to have those kids out there like that, but it is what it is. Kim and Kanye are concerned. The comments Kanye's made, how Kanye got Bianca dressed, that's out of control. This is out of control too, because she's 12. She is 12. But well wishes, everybody's saying somebody need to keep an eye on. Like the video. I hope everyone has hit the subscribe button. There's about 40 something in the building. I hope everyone's hit the subscribe button. Continue to hit the like button. Okay, everyone, I feel like my voice is about to go. But yeah, people are calling Kim out. This is trending. Because at 12, why you got her in a bustier? Because remember, Kim likes her body cinched. Kim likes her body cinched in. Well wishes. Sometimes people don't want to, other celebrities are doing their best to protect their children off media. Other celebrities are trying to have family time and they don't post their kids a lot. This could have been a private moment, but she chose to film it and dance and do whatever. I don't know if Kanye has responded. I don't know if he will respond, but Kanye spoke out. Go look at the video when Kanye was close up, talking about he had no choice of where they went to school. A lot of times the courts favor the mom, and allegedly he paying a lot in child support. Well, sir, you chose to have children with this person. So I said it before. Be careful who you have children by. Mothers teach your daughters different. I've said it. Mothers teach your daughters different. Teach your daughters different. A lot of mothers wouldn't do this. Some mothers would. Let's be real about it. But there's a lot of weirdos out there too. So you got to be careful what you post about your children. You got to be careful what you post about your children, where your children go. And then sometimes they're calling Kim out too, because they say sometimes North goes out with a bodyguard to different events. Kanye's nowhere to be seen. Kim's nowhere to be seen. She hanging out with bodyguards. Now there might have been a male and female bodyguard and you just don't know it. But they saying sometimes Kim will let North go places without Kim and Kanye. And we've seen it. Remember when North went to the basketball game? She had that big outfit on. Kim is dressing her in sometimes adult clothes. She's been doing that. Sometimes Kanye stuff, oversized stuff. Now it's smaller and smaller skirts. Well wishes though. Mothers, protect your daughters. Mothers, protect your sons. Mothers, protect. You know, I don't know. She's making choices, and I guess she the mom, and this is the choice she's made. So thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't get me wrong or twisted. North is a beautiful girl. Kanye has said stuff he shouldn't have said. Now it's like Kim is doing stuff she should be doing. So well wishes to those kids. Prayers go up for the kids. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Focus on happy and safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button. Continue to hit the like button as you guys come in. Continue to hit the subscribe button. Everyone have a great day. Be blessed. Bye.